I'm going to show you how to make this bracelet I am calling Crystal Peaks, because as you can see, the units look kind of like little mountains sticking up. This unit is recessed, but it has a tall peak on it, and then this unit is a little higher up and it has a smaller peak. I think the units themselves are really, really pretty. I think this turned out really nice. Let's back off a little bit. And, well, actually, let's get close. A little bit more than that. I also made a ring to match, so be on the lookout for that tutorial. There will be a tutorial separate from this one on that. And let's take this off and look at the bracelet itself. And I'm going to get you a little closer so you can see how pretty this is. That's what that looks like. Let's zoom in even more. That's what that looks like. And then let's zoom out so you can see the clasping. Oh, yeah, there we go. And that's what that looks like. So it's really, really very pretty. And the ring goes really nicely with it. Turns out really nice. So let's go ahead and look and see what it takes to make this bracelet today. Okay, for this project, you will need 11/0, 8/0, and 15/0 seed beads. The 15/0 and 11/0 are the galvanized permanent finish aluminum in the Toho line, and the 8/0 is the nickel plate, also in the Toho line. You will need 4mm bicone crystals in 2 colors. You will need more of one color than the other. I am going to use more in clear. This is a clear Swarovski 4mm bicone, and this is a light sapphire 4mm Swarovski. You will also need a 6mm Swarovski. This is also the light sapphire, and of course it doesn't have to be a Swarovski, just a 6mm bicone. Then we will be using a toggle clasp also. This is a pewter little fancy toggle that I'll be using. And then we will be using 10-pound Nanofil. You can also use 8-pound Nanofil or 6 or 8-pound Fireline. Excuse me. I am also going to be using a size 12 beading needle. You can use a 10 if you'd like. It's just that with this particular 15/0 seed bead, I have a hard time going through with the size 10. So I'm going to use a size 12, and I'm going to start with a wingspan, a full wingspan of thread onto my needle. You will need to extend your Fireline as you do this, and I will put a link for a video if you do not know how to extend your Fireline. Put a wingspan on, which is when you hold your arms straight out from side to side. Measure from fingertips, one length of one arm across your chest, the length of the other arm, and to your fingertips. That is a wingspan. Go ahead and put that onto your needle, and let's get started. Okay, to start this project, you will pick up an 8/0 and 2 of your 4mm bicone crystals in your main color, the one that you have the most of. Then we will pick up an 8/0 and 2 bicone crystals. And then we will bring these down to the end of our Fireline or Nanofil, whatever you're using. You will want to leave about a 12-inch tail, 12 to 14-inch tail to put on your clasping at the end. Or you can just leave enough to extend, and I think that's what I'm going to do, is just leave enough to extend so that you don't have to watch me struggle around my tail. Now, I'm going to come back through the first bead I put onto my Fireline, which is this 8/0 seed bead. So I am going to go through this 8/0. I'm going to hold onto my tail and the bead I'm going through and pull all of these beads into like a little rectangular shape, like so. Let me rearrange my camera here so I have more room to work in. And then I am going to sew back through all of these beads. So I'm coming out of the 8/0. I'm going to go into both of these crystals here, into the next 8/0 and crystal. I'm just going to continue sewing until I get all the way to where my tail and my working thread meet. If you have a little slack, don't worry, we'll pull that out right now. Now just pull on your tail, pull on your working thread, and then let's tie a knot with the working thread and the tail. So just grab onto the two threads and just one little overhand knot that goes between the 8/0 and the crystal, like so. Now I am right between my beads here, so now I'm going to go into this 8/0 and I'm going to pull on my tail and tighten that knot. Pull on the tail and the working thread like so. So you have good tension and your unit is held together very nicely. Then we are going to go through this one crystal. So we're coming out of the 8/0, go through one crystal, pick up a 15/0 seed bead, and then go through the next crystal like so, and pull. And that's what you should have. Let's get just a little bit closer as we do this first unit, and let's go into the next 8/0, pull our thread through, then go through the next crystal, just one crystal, pull your thread through like so, and then pick up a 15/0 seed bead and go into the next crystal. And then go into your 8/0 seed bead right next to that crystal. Make sure your tension is good, your unit looks nice. And now we're going to put a embellishment on top of this unit. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up two 15/0 seed beads and a 6mm bicone crystal and two 15/0 seed beads. We are then going to go over to the opposite 8/0 seed bead and go into it on the same side we're coming out of this 8/0. So we're coming out of this side, we're going to go into this side right here. I'm going to hold on to my unit that I've just created, pull my thread through, push my crystal on top, and then give a tug on my thread again, like so. Now, you don't want any slack, but at this point it's not going to be real tight either. Pick up two 15/0 seed beads and then go back into just the 6mm bicone crystal, like so. Put your thumb on top of the crystal to hold everything in place and pull your thread through until you can get those 15/0s down to the crystal, like so. Pick up two more 15/0 seed beads and then go into the bead you started in on the opposite side from which you started. So we have the embellishment comes through this side, we're going to go through the other side. Hold on to your unit and pull. Now, this is what you should have. You want to make sure that your embellishment is nice and tight. Otherwise, your crystals will move around on your bracelet. You don't want that to happen. Now, we're coming out of this 8/0 seed bead. We are going to sew up through the bicone crystals. And the 15/0 and the next bicone crystal. So go up through the 4mm, the 15/0, and then the next 4mm. And then you're going to sew through the 8/0 seed bead. Now you're going to pick up, we're going to make a connecting link here. So you're going to pick up an 11/0, an 8/0, an 11/0, an 8/0, an 11/0, an 8/0, and an 11/0. This is what you should have onto your needle. 4 11/0s, 3 8/0s, alternating the 11/0s between them, starting with and finishing with an 11/0 seed bead. Now we're coming out of this side of this 8/0 seed bead. We're going to go into the opposite side. and pull your thread down tight. Sorry, I'm going to fix my seed beads here. And then I've got this little circle here, and now I'm going to sew around it to secure it. So I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm going to sew through 3 beads on this side to keep the shape I want. Put my thumb and finger over it, give it a tug, go into just the 8/0 on this side, pull through, tug, and then through these 3. This will help retain the shape that you want for this center unit here. And then we will go through the 8/0 seed bead. Now we have to get back up to this seed bead here. So we are going to sew through these 3 here again. Up into this 8/0, and we're going to make another unit of crystal. And with this, we're going to be backtracking some. So we're going to do our embellishments as we make this. But this one, we have to make our next unit before we can embellish this unit. So how we're going to do that is, let's turn it back over and pick up 2 crystals, 4mm in the clear, and then pick up an 8/0 seed bead and 2 4mm crystals, like so. And then we're going to go into the opposite side of the 8/0 we are coming out of. Pull this down, and then we're going to sew through this entire unit again. We could try putting our 15/0 seed beads on between the crystals at this point, but it really doesn't work well. You need some actual securing stitch through this. So go all the way through all of your beads and get back to your connecting 8/0 here. And then we'll put our 15/0 seed beads on. And pick up a 15/0, go through the next crystal. Go through the 8/0, pick up a 15/0, or excuse me, go through the crystal first, and then pick up a 15/0, go into the next crystal, and you can go into the 8/0 behind it. Now we will put the crystal embellishment on top. So I've got my 11/0s and 15/0s mixed up, excuse me. Let me get them fixed or I will mess up my piece. Now, 2 15/0 seed beads, a 6mm bicone crystal, 2 15/0 seed beads. I'm coming out of this 8/0 seed bead on this side. I'm going to find the opposite 8/0, and I'm going to go through the same side I'm coming out of this 8/0. So like this. And then I'm going to pull the crystal on top, give a little tug, pick up 2 15/0 seed beads, go through the crystal, the 6mm crystal, and just the crystal, hold on to that crystal, and pull your beads down, give a little tug. Now when I say give a tug, make sure you tug straight through that crystal. Do not go on the edge of the crystal or you will break your thread. 2 15/0 seed beads, and then we're going to go into the opposite side of the crystal we started, or of the 8/0 seed bead we started in. Put your thumb on top and give a nice little tug to make sure that that crystal is secure, because if it is not at this point secure, it will be very loose on your bracelet. So to secure it, we're going to sew back through these 3, the 11/0, 8/0, and 11/0 here. So we're coming out right here. We're going to go into these 3 beads here, and we will do our embellishment on this unit. So pull this through. As you pull, that's going to secure your last embellishment. So make sure you give a nice pull. Make sure that that crystal is tight. Go up through this 8/0 seed bead on your previous unit the connecting 8-0, and make sure, like I said, everything's secure. And then you are going to pick up 2 crystals, 4mm. You're coming out of this 8-0. We're going to go over to the connecting 8-0 here. Let me get you real close so you can see where I'm at, right there. And then we're going to pull this down, and then I'm going to back off because I will not stay in camera that close. But as you pull these down, they should lay on top of the 3 beads on the side of your unit here. Then, let's back off just slightly. And then we're going to pick up 2 more bicone crystals in the clear color, 4mm. And we're going to go through the 8-0. We started it right here. Now, we need to put some little 15-0s through these crystals. So we're going to come up through this first crystal, and they're going to loosen as you do that. Just pull again, pick up a 15-0 seed bead, go into the crystal next to it, and then into the 8-0, connecting. So because we're sewing through this so much, a smaller thread, my 10-pound Nanofil is very thin. It's like a 6-pound Fireline. So if you're using Fireline, you may want to use a 6-pound just to make sure that you can sew through your beads as many times as I am. Also, Toho seed beads are going to be your friend because they're bigger. So you will want to use Tohos if you can. Then come up through the crystal here, and then pick up a 15-0 seed bead and go into this crystal and the 8-0 behind it if you'd like. Now you can see these have made like little peaks, and my piece is kind of curving. That's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. Now I'm coming out of this 8-0 seed bead right here. I'm going to pick up 1 15-0 seed bead and 1 4mm in my blue color, and then another 15-0 seed bead. I am coming out of this 8-0 here, kind of buried under my crystals. I'm going to go into the opposite one, the one that we've been connecting to. We're going to use those 8-0s for all of these embellishments. Now, as you pull your thread through, and to push your crystal up a little bit, and then you are going to have to situate it into the center of those beads, like so. And then you're going to pick up a 15-0 seed bead. You're going to come through just the blue crystal in the center, put your thumb over it, give a tug so it secures all of those beads you just put on, and then pick up another 15-0, go back through the 8-0 you've been connecting to, right here. And pull. And this is what you should have. Now we're going to turn this piece over, and we're going to sew until we can get back over to this 8-0 so we can make our next units. So we're coming out of this 8-0, we're going to sew up into these 3 here. Now one of my 11-0s is sitting at a funny angle, so I may not be able to go through all 3. Let me see. Oh, that's okay. I'll just go through 2 of them. And then I'm going to go through this 11-0 here. And then I'm going to go through this 8-0 seed bead here. Now as you sew up through these crystals, you can just go through the crystals and not go through the 15-0, or you can go through the 15-0. But if you go through the 15-0, make sure you do not pull it so tight to where you pull it back into the crystals too far. So let's see. Let's go through. So I'm just coming through the crystal. I'm going to avoid the 15-0 and go through the next crystal, see if I can do it. without making a mess of my piece. There we go. So I've just avoided that 15-0. And as I pull through, that'll travel underneath that 15-0 and you won't see it. And then we'll go into the 8-0 here, and we will begin making our connecting unit again. So we need to make a connecting unit and then a main unit. So what we will do is we will pick up 11-0, 8-0, 11-0, 8-0, 11-0, 8-0, and 11-0. So 3 8-0s with 4 11-0s, like so. Then, let me back off just slightly. Then we are going to go through the opposite side of the 8-0 we're coming out of, like so. Pull this into a circle and then secure it. That 11-0, a funny color. Yes, I'm going to redo that because it looks like I have a galvanized starlight in there instead of, sometimes my beads get mixed up, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again. 11-0, 8-0, 11-0, 8-0, 11-0, 8-0, and 11-0. Sorry about that, but I don't want a funny colored bead. Like so. Go into the opposite side of the 8-0 you're coming out of, pull it into a circle, and then secure it. Go up through 3 beads, and then into the 8-0 by itself. Tiny tug after each stroke of stitching here, then through 3 beads. And then back into the 8-0. Now we have to make our next unit before we embellish this one. So we will go up these 3 beads again, here, and then into the 8-0. This is what you should have. And now we are going to create our unit of crystals, our next unit, and then we'll come back to our link and we will embellish it. So pick up 2 of your bicone crystals, and then an 8-0, and then 2 bicone crystals in your clear color or whatever main color you're using, and then go into the opposite side of the 8-0 you're coming out of. Pull them down, sew through the entire unit, people always ask me why I sew through so much. Well, let me tell you, I tried to take apart one of my pieces I made earlier just because I wanted to reuse the beads, and it was a piece I wasn't going to wear, so boy, let me tell you, if I can't barely take them apart, then I know that my piece is not going to fall apart. So that's why I do it. Plus, it makes your stitching neater. So we're coming out of this crystal now. We're going to do the same thing we've done before. Pick up a 15-0, go through, pop that 15-0 down so that it kind of makes them lay at a peak, and then go through your 8-0, go up through your crystals, pick up a 15-0, go into the next crystal, go into the 8-0, and we'll put our embellishment on this piece, backtrack and embellish this piece, and then move back up to make our next connecting unit. And we will just continue doing that through the entire bracelet. So now I need to pick up 2 15-0 seed beads, a 6mm bicone crystal, and 2 15-0 seed beads. And then I'm going to go into the same side of the 8/0 opposite from the one I'm coming out of, like this. And pull this down. Bring it up over the top of my unit, give it a little tug, pick up two 15/0 seed beads, go into my bicone crystal, hold my thumb over the top of it, give it a tug, pick up two 15/0s, and then go through the 8/0, like so. And now I've got my embellishment on. Now I need to secure that by sewing through these 3 beads here and then through this 8/0. And then as I get into this 8/0, I'll make sure that this crystal is tight. So I'll go through these 3 beads here and give a tug, and then go through this 8/0 right here. Give a nice little tug, make sure that that crystal is secure, and then pick up 2 bicone crystals, like so. And I am going to go from this 8/0 to this connecting 8/0 over here. Pull them over the top so that they stand up like little peaks. And then pick up 2 more and go into the 8/0 on this side. Pull them up and then go up through the bicone crystal here. And we'll get a little closer just for a minute or two, make sure that everybody really sees what's going on, because soon we're going to do the rest of it off camera. Now we're coming through this crystal, we're picking up a 15/0, we're going to go through this crystal, give a little tug, go back into the 8/0 seed bead in the center, make sure your thread doesn't get caught on anything, and pull it through tight. Then come up through this crystal right here. Pick up a 15/0, go into this crystal, pull it through, and go through the 8/0, and then give a tug so that it's nice and secure. Bring your thread up over the top, pick up 1 15/0 seed bead, and then your accent color 4mm, and 1 15/0 seed bead. And then go into the 8/0 on this side. And at this point, sometimes it's a little hard to find, but you can. Just feel for it, you'll get it. Pull that crystal down, bring your thread up, and pick up 15/0, go through the crystal again, pick up a 15/0, and go through the 8/0. Once you have done that, give a tug to secure your embellishment. Make sure it looks pretty, turn it over, and then sew back up until you get to this 8/0 seed bead. So we're going to go up through these 3 beads right here, and this is where it's a little tougher because the beads are laying at really funny angles. They're not full yet, but they're at funny angles, so just try to get through them and then through the next one. And I sew with a lot of tension, so my beads are tight. There we go. And then through here. My mom always makes fun of me, even when I'm crocheting. My stitches are so little and tight. She's like, geez, Gina, it's going to take 500 skeins of yarn. And then we're going to go through this crystal. And I went through the 15/0, so I'm not going to pull really tight. You can go through those 15/0s. I just don't want to rearrange the way things look. So, like so. So it's fine. Now we have to make another connecting unit, and then the unit with crystal, and then embellish the top of your unit with crystal, and then embellish your unit, your connecting unit, and then sew back up through the top, just like we've been doing. It's very repetitive now. So to do my next unit, my connecting unit, I'm just going to pick up my series of 11-0, 8-0, 11-0, 8-0, 11-0, 8-0, and 11-0. Go through the opposite side, pull these down, secure them, and then make my next unit of crystal, and then embellish that with my 6mm crystal. Come back, embellish my link, sew back through to the 8-0 on the end of your crystal unit, and just continue going until you have, okay, so I have gone to the length that I require for my wrist. This is exactly 6.5 inches, and it's 21 units, and I'm counting each unit. 1, 2, 3. I'm not just counting the big crystal units or just the small. I'm counting all of them. So all of the units together equal 21 here. And this is also the way that you're going to adjust the length of your bracelet. So if you started on the big crystal, you want to end on a big crystal. So if you wanted to take an inch off, you would just make sure that you end a little bit shorter than I have. So instead of making 21, you'd make 19 units. Just make sure that you end with a big crystal. Since we started with the big crystal, that'll give symmetry to your bracelet. I'm going to lift this up a little closer and put it against my skin so you can see how pretty it is. Okay, since I have a blue background and blue beads, I thought I would do that. Now, I have to put my clasping on this end, and then I will extend the Fireline I left over here and put the clasping on that side. But let's get close so you can see. I'm coming out of this 8-0 seed bead right here. Maybe that's a little too close. I am going to pick up 2 11-0 seed beads and an 8-0. Oops, I got another gold seed bead. Jeez. I have some gold mixed with my silver. Going to drive me crazy. Okay, 2 11-0s and an 8-0. And I'm going to drop it down to the 8-0 I'm coming out of. Then I'm going to pick up my clasp and go through it. And then I'm going to come back through this 8-0 seed bead right here. And just the 8-0. And pull my clasping down. And then pick up 2 11-0 seed beads and go back through this 8-0 seed bead right here. Very simple clasping. And this is what this should look like. Now I'm going to sew back through this several times, and then I will tie it off. So I'm just going to go up through. I'm coming out of the 8-0 seed bead. I'm going to go into the 2 11-0s here, back up through the 8-0, through the clasp, back down through the 8-0, through the 2 11-0s, and then into the 8-0 on my unit. And I'm going to do that a couple more times, and then we'll come back and sew through our original units and tie off this thread. And I have secured my end, and this is what it should look like. Now I've sewn through several times, and I'm coming out of the 8-0 seed bead. I'm going to turn my piece over like so, and right here make sure that everything's tight. Go underneath this little thread bridge right between the crystal and the 8-0. Make a loop as you pull your thread through, go through that loop and pull a knot down. Then we're going to sew into these crystals here. You can sew through the 15-0 if you'd like, or not. It doesn't matter, because when you pull, it's going to hide that thread anyway. And then I'm going to go up through this 8-0 right here, and I'm going to grab the thread bridge between this 11-0 and this 8-0 here and tie another knot. Pull my thread into a loop, go through it, and just make sure that you slowly guide your thread between those two beads. And then I'm going to sew through these beads here and move down into the next unit, go into this 8-0, and tie another knot here between the crystal and the 8/0, sew through, go through the 8/0, and I'll do that a few more times until I feel like my piece is very secure. I'll cut off my thread, burn down the end, and then we'll have to extend the Fireline here and put the clasp on. Put the clasp on exactly like you put this clasp on. Just if you left a long tail, go ahead and put your needle on it and just put your end on. If you did not extend your Fireline, make sure that you extend it close to your piece. So extend it here, cut off your ends, make your little blobs, and then put your end on and sew through it several times. And then back through your piece, just like you did this end, and we'll be back. Okay, so I have now finished my bracelet and put my clasping on. And that's what the back looks like. I've moved my blue mat so you can see the colors better and how pretty this is. This really is very pretty. This turned out to be about a 7 3/4 inch bracelet, which is a little too big for me. I think next time I would probably end here. I made it to 6.5 inches, which is an inch short of my target. I wanted it to be a little over 7.5, which would give me some movement, but being at 7 3/4 gives me a little too much movement. However, it's okay because it still fits nicely. Let me put it on and I'll show you what it looks like. But just keep that in mind. Your clasping is going to take up about 1.5 inches. So this is what it looks like on my wrist. This is my clasping. And as you can see, it's just a little long for me. But I'll probably make another one a little shorter, because that's just a little, I don't like it to fall into my hand. I like movement, but not quite that much. Either that or I'll give it to someone with a little bigger wrist than me, which is fine too. So that's what this looks like. And then I've also made a ring to match. So let me put that on. So that's what this set looks like so far, and I think it turned out really pretty. Let me back off just a little so you can see. That's what that looks like. And then let's get really close so you can see the units themselves, how pretty they are. It's really neat because, let me take this off. I know you can't see me right now, but these units, they're like 3D because this one's lower, this one's higher, this one's lower, and then the little crystals peak over the top. So that's why I'm calling it crystal peaks. But it turned out really, really pretty. And with different color seed beads in between, you can see how pretty the joint is. A different color might stick out a little more. I wanted mine to be kind of icy looking and mountainous looking type of thing. And I think I succeeded in that look. So anyway, that's what that looks like. And there will be a tutorial for the ring also. So keep an eye out for that. And see you next time. Bye-bye.